How to stop an IRS audit. Our system of taxation is based upon voluntary assessment and payment, not upon distraint. Flora v. U.S. 362 U.S. 145, unless, of course, you neglect to volunteer. Notice, the following is presented to you via Bill Drexler's newsletter, with permission before, and if you use it, be sure the case sites are correct, and you understand and can explain them. Certified mail. 2. IRS representative/agent. It is required of you in your official capacity, and requested of you as an individual person acting under color of law, that you answer the following list of questions, 32 in number, which government officials are required to answer under the provisions of the Privacy Act, the Freedom of Information Act, and various court decisions. Under each question, the pertinent authorities have been cited which mandate a complete answer from you upon this request. Thank you for your cooperation. 1. State the authority, giving the specific section of the IRC for the solicitation of the information that you desire. Freedom of Information Act, Privacy Act, U.S. v. Newman, 441 F2D 170, Treasury Form Letter L 423 with publication 876, same authority cited for number 1 through number 5. 2. State whether the disclosure of the requested information is mandatory or voluntary. If mandatory, what penalties may/will result from non-compliance in furnishing the data you requested. 3. State the principal and specific purposes for which the information requested is to be used in any and all capacities. 4. State the routine uses which may be made of the requested information, or any other use to be made of the requested information. 5. State the effects upon this person of whom you have requested information, specifically the taxpayer, for not providing to you the information requested. 6. Explain and show that the investigation involved is of the kind authorized by federal statute, Martin V. Chandid, 128 F2D 731, Pacific Mills v. Kennefic, 99 F2D 188. 7. Explain how and why the demand for information is not too vague and or broad in scope, U.S. v. Newman, 441 F2D 170, U.S. v. Williams, 337 F. Sup. 1114, First National Bank of Mobile v. U.S., 160 F2D 532, U.S. v. Coopers and Librand, Sup. 942, Hubner v. Tucker, 245 F2D 35. 8. Explain and show that the information sought is relevant or material as a lawful subject of inquiry, U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, International Brotherhood of Teamsters v. U.S., 240 F2D 387, U.S. v. Michigan Bell Telephone Company, 415 F2D 1284, May v. Davis, 7 F. Sup. 596, U.S. v. Brown, 536 F2D 117. 9. Explain why and how the investigation is pursuant to legitimate purposes, same authorities as number 6 through number 8. 10. Explain why and how the inquiry for information may be relevant to the purposes, same authorities as number 6 through number 8. 11. Show and prove that the information is not already in your possession or cannot be obtained from other sources, same authorities as number 6 through number 8. 12. Show and prove that the Secretary or his delegate has determined that this further examination is necessary, IRC Section 7605b. 13. Show and prove that all other administrative steps required by the Internal Revenue Code, IRC, have been followed to the letter of the law, Martin V. Chandis, 128 F2D 731, U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48. 14. Show and prove that after initial investigation, the Secretary or his delegate has determined that further examination is necessary and warranted, U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, U.S. v. Coopers and Librand, F. Sup. 942, U.S. v. Williams, 337 F. Sup. 1114, Sherrar v. Cullen, 481 F2D 945. 15. Show and prove that the taxpayer has been properly notified that further examination is necessary, U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, IRC Section 7605b. 16. state the exact reasons, in detail, for the examination of each year specific information is requested. U.S. v. Third Northwestern National Bank, 102 F. Sup. 879, FOIA. 17. State whether there is a misconception and/or mistake in the tax return for each year that information is requested. U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, U.S. v. Wright Motor Company, 536 F2D 1090. 18. State exactly wherein the mistake lies, or if in fact one exists. U.S. v. London Insurance Agency Incorporated 72-2T. C. U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, Hubner v. Tucker, 245 F2D 35. 19. Specify exactly which items of income or expense items are in question on the tax returns, if any, same as hash. 20. State why the specific income and or expense item is in question, or is being examined, same as number 18. 21. Explain why and what issue in law or in fact is questioned, if any. FOIA, U.S. v. McCarthy, 514 F2D 368. 22. State the name, address, and telephone number of any person or persons informing you of any questions or concern involved in any item or any tax return or any activity of the taxpayer. Sixth Amendment, U.S. v. Zach, D.C. Neve April 20, 1974, Favre v. Henderson, 409 U.S. 942, FOIA. 23. State exactly what was said, either verbal and/or written concerning any item, tax return or activity of the taxpayer by any persons informing or directing you to conduct an examination. Directly, and/or indirectly, same as number 22. 24. State and prove that the taxpayer is not being subjected to an examination based on or for any political, ideological, harassment, pressure tactic, or bad faith purpose, and is not being singled out for prosecution as an example to other taxpayers for any reason. U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, U.S. v. Wright Motor Company, 536 F2D 1090, U.S. v. McCarthy, 514 F2D 368, U.S. v. Rountree, 420 F2D 845, Shokin v. Alexander, 401 F. Sup. 817, FOIA. 25. State and explain why the examination cannot and will not amount to an inquisition or arbitrary inquiry on the part of the examiner. Local 174 International Brotherhood of Teamsters. v. U.S., 240 F2D 387, U.S. v. McKay, 372 F2D 174, U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48, U.S. v. Michigan Bell Telephone Company, 415 F2D 1284, U.S. v. Third Northwestern Bank, 102 F. Sup. 879. 26. State and explain why IRC Section 7605, b, does not apply to any examination where no taxpayer shall be subjected to unnecessary examination or investigation. Pacific Mills v. Kenefick, 99 F2D 188. 27. State the exact methods used, either past and or present to gather information concerning this taxpayer, and whether information was gathered through the use of surveillance, telephone wiretapping, mail coverage, interviews, illegal entry, informers, spies, or otherwise. FOIA, U.S. v. Wright Motor Company, 536 F2D 1090, Scherer v. Cullen, 481 F3D 945. 28. State whether the verification of specific deductions would be the limited scope of the examination. U.S. v. Powell, 379 U.S. 48. 29. State and explain any objection to the use of electronic recorders during the pursuit of this examination. IRS Manual Mount 9900-26, January 29, 1975, paragraph 241. 5. 30. State whether the examiner would be prejudiced against a taxpayer who arranges his affairs to minimize his taxes as the law permits. Gregory V. Helvering, 293 U.S. 465, Netsch v. U.S., 361. 31. Show and prove to this citizen how the IRS Commissioner has jurisdiction over any subject matter concerning this citizen. Hale v. Hinkle, 201 U.S. 43, Murdoch v. Pa, 319 U.S. 105, U.S. v. LaSalle Bank, 437 U.S. 298, 26 U.S.C. Section 6011. 32. Unless otherwise shown, this citizen hereby pleads and does give public notice that the IRS Commissioner has an absence of jurisdiction over this citizen's person, same as number 31. What can you do? File your UCC-1 claim on the corporation that carries your name in their ledgers and take control of your Treasury direct account. You are considered a citizen of a federal territory because of 14th Amendment citizenship. Since you have not objected to your status as a subject of the federal jurisdiction, you may be presumed to be content with your federal citizenship.